When experimental films flop, cinephiles hold grudges against general audiences for not appreciating a film's complexity enough. This is particularly true of Telugu cinephiles. They hold perennial resentment against Telugu audiences for not rewarding the experimental films of mainstream actors. Sometimes there's a tendency to exaggerate an experimental flop's greatness to feed into their own cinephilia, but the interesting aspect isn't whether a film should have been a hit or not. It's about the effect the failed film has on the actor and on their future choices. The true cost of a failed experimental film is measured in what could have been had it been a success. What would Mahesh Babu have done if Spider was a success? Would he have dared to do Sukumar's film, which may have been Pushpa, or a similarly brave mainstream film? Had Johnny been an average film instead of being a colossal flop, would Pawan Kalyan have given us a further glance into his martial arts obsessed brain? Maybe we could have gotten a John Wick style Telugu gun fu movie a decade or two ago. Therefore, a flopped experiment is a cost not just in the present but also in the way it robs from the future. So therefore, the most expensive flop in a purely artistic sense for Telugu cinema has to be Chiranjeevi's Aapadbandhavudu. The stupendous failure of the film ensured that Chiranjeevi never ventured into films that don't continuously deify him. The film narrates a simple love story. Madhava, a shepherd belonging to an oppressed caste, and Hema, a girl from an oppressor caste, fall in love. As they deal with the social stigma around their love, Hema is sent to an asylum because she witnesses a horrific crime she cannot recover psychologically from. Madhava, then pretending to be mentally unstable, joins the same asylum to win the love of his life. Now, directed by K. Viswanath, the film juxtaposes an unequal society divided by class and caste with the evenness of a mental asylum where everyone is deemed mad. The film asks the question, who are the really mentally unstable ones? And in the hands of K. Viswanath, the film gets the sensitivity required and Chiranjeevi pours his heart into the role. But this film flopped big time. It was also the last collaboration between Chiranjeevi and K. Viswanath. The magnitude of the flop so affected Chiranjeevi's career that he never dared to venture into a similar space again. A post-mortem of the film might reveal that it was probably released too close to Chiranjeevi's other mega successes such as Gharana Mogudu, and therefore it could never really match the expectations. You know what they say, right? When the audiences crave biryani, you can't feed them an apple. Maybe the audience also recognized that some of the acting was too hammy and the film itself was too preachy. Chiranjeevi was hailed by Tamil director K. Balachandar as the perfect mix of Kamal Hassan and Rajnikant. That is, the perfect mix of art and mainstream. But after the flop of Aapadbandhavudu, Chiranjeevi killed his metaphorical Kamal Hassan and only fed the Rajnikant in him. Even in films like Sneham Kosam or Daddy, which demanded his full emotional range, he used an action-heavy masala crutch as an insurance. It shouldn't be construed as a coincidence that out of the 7 Filmfare Awards he's received, there's a clear difference before and after Aapadbandhavudu in 1992. His first 3 awards were for a comedy, a tragedy, and a romantic drama. But after 1992, the remaining 4 awards were given for films that rely fully on his image as a matinee idol. Now, fantasizing about the films that Chiranjeevi could have made and would have made had Aapadbandhavudu been even a moderate hit becomes a romantic exercise. Maybe the dumped RGV and Chiranjeevi film would have happened earlier with both artists at their peaks. Maybe Chiranjeevi would have had the courage to do a softer Mani Ratnam film. Or maybe a then and up-and-coming Tamil director called Shankar would have done his offbeat film called Indian with Chiranjeevi. Or you know what? Or maybe we might be discussing a new Telugu director whose body of work would be ripe for cutting and slicing apart because Chiranjeevi decided to take a punt on them after 1992. But to be in Chiranjeevi's shoes circa 1992, facing a dilemma might give us empathy while we regret the films that we lost. Imagine seeing such stupendous success in your films that your name becomes a synonym with the industry itself. And then you're humiliated by a flop that shakes your belief in your artistry. And after being punished for being vulnerable, Chiranjeevi chose the financially safer path. And there is nothing but success down this path. Box office numbers are ringing, legacy is intact, producers are content, fans are overjoyed. He has overcome that loss by becoming a bankable megastar. But there is a group that's still feeling the cost of the flop, the cinephiles. They're left with fantasies about what Telugu cinema might have looked like today had this one experimental film reaped some financial reward.
Records lo నీ పేరుందన్నమాట.